Drag racing is harder to do well than getting started in drifting.
Why?
Whoa.
Because
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
it's a TikTok.
Yeah, try telling the internet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of MartiniWorks Season 4, Episode 4.
And it's short season.
It's a short season, baby. We're about to go into episode
I'm
season
in
5.
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
two of
summer season. I got enough leg hair
It's
for
like
all three of us,
80
though.
degrees out today.
It is a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. And in Wisconsin, it went from about 35-ish degrees, rain every single day, and now it's 75.
80.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, she
toasty out
crested
there.
80.
The sun got me real good. So the old Blackstone got that bad boy back turned on. We
Grilled
got
some
some
burgers.
burgers on there. Things are looking good.
You good now?
We always take it to 8, and
I need to
Dakota's like, I would like the attention back, please.
Dude, you get talking too much, it's like someone shut the guy up.
You mentioned that moo meat, and he's all about it.
Yeah,
Movie-
yeah. What do we got? What are we
burgers.
starting off with?
All right, so I thought it'd be good. We've all had a little bit experience on the track, whether it's like track like Road America, maybe heading out looking at Laguna Seca,
Oh.
drifting at US Air, drag racing, WIR. I did somewhere down in Iowa. It was on the border of Iowa, Illinois. Anyways, I want to talk a little bit about like maybe some people listening haven't gone to the track yet or a drift event or anything like that, but they've wanted to, but it's kind of weird going the first time. And it's always weird too if you don't know any, like you're going alone. You don't really know what to expect. So I figure we could talk about some of our experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. You literally fought somebody one time. Gel's car started on fire.
Almost.
And then he started someone else's car on fire while he was there. And I just figured that we can kind of clear some of that up.
Trying to remember. Who did I fight with?
Yeah, you punched that guy at banging
You
gears.
started
didn't you?
choking him out.
Oh yeah, I've punched a motherfucker in the face before. Now that I remember, or
That's why they
recall.
had to cancel the show.
Yeah, they canceled the show because I literally got in an altercation with a 40-year-old man.
We're lying.
We're completely kidding.
Because of your race shoes.
Yeah, because okay, so yeah,
Anyway.
I would say having a little bit of experience at all of them. The least amount of experience I have is drifting. That I'm still just barely. I'm still wet
Yep.
behind the ears, as they say. But
But that's perfect.
um,
So you got to experience your first day.
it was awesome, and I would say like from a difficulty level, like I do think probably drifting is the hardest one to get started.
What do you mean?
in.
You're just crashing the car around every turn.
Yeah, so I would say drifting's like the hardest at the beginning. You'll figure it out. You can do it. I would say drag racing is the hardest to actually perform.
I was just
the
about to
right
say
way.
the one that surprised me the most, and what I don't think people realize is just because it's straight line doesn't mean it's not hard.
Yeah, drag racing is harder. I would argue, and this is like what's gonna probably end up being clipped, but
Oh,
like
here we go.
drag racing is harder to do well, in my opinion, than getting started in drifting.
Why?
Whoa.
Because the launch when you're drag racing a car is a lot of finesse. You can't force it if you want to do well. By forcing it, you actually do worse in drag racing.
Right.
You can force yourself to get through a corner in drifting, whether it's like powering over, just re-clutch kicking. You can correct things really easily. But when you're really trying to fine-tune like 100th of a second or something like that on the drag strip, you can't just give it more at the launch. Your reaction time has to be perfect.
Yeah.
You letting off the clutch has to be perfect. Like all of that stuff has to flow really fast right at the beginning, or the entire thing is ruined. The entire run is lost if you mess up the beginning.
Yeah, I think
that's
anytime you introduce like a time element like that, especially when, yes, it is like going in a straight line, like the same exact, everyone is running the same exact route as you are from here to there. And anytime you introduce like a time element like that, it's like the most minute things.
People don't
are
want
going
to
to
hear
matter.
that drag racing is hard.
I know.
People don't want
They
to
get
hear
heated about it.
that drag racing is probably just as much as a motorsport, if not bigger than the other two. I would argue the drag racing motorsport community is an incredibly difficult thing to do well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're on the track and let's say you take a corner wrong or you're early apex or late apex, right? Like you still have the other 13 turns or whatever when you're at Road America. When you're on a drag strip, If you mess up the beginning,
You're fucked.
you cannot come back
Yeah,
from
it's-
that.
yeah.
There's not enough time on the actual track to come back and win, unless there's such a power difference between the two cars.
When you're actually competing. Now, if you're just going out there to throw down and have a good time,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But when you're, actually competing
Okay,
against the
but
person
at
next
the
to you.
same time too, like I was humbled so quickly the first time I went to the drag trip, and
absolutely.
it was just an open day. It wasn't competition, but like when you're there and like a fucking bone stock clapped out Acura Integra almost beats you, it humbles you pretty
Oh,
quick
God, yeah.
because you're like,
In what?
I'm fucking up.
Proper
I was in my Focus ST.
proper
I beat 'em.
drag racers, like the skill difference can so easily be shown in that motorsport versus, in my opinion, some of the other two. Unless you're like doing timed events at a track, right? You can see the differential of like, oh, that guy ran the track, ran a lap 4 seconds faster than
Right.
the other guy. But like when you've got a guy that's in a slower car, objectively worse car, yet their reaction time is 50 times better than yours. They know how to actually get all the power to the
Yeah, they're
tires
not
without
spinning.
slipping.
Yeah.
You're not just dropping the clutch and slamming it
That's
down.
what I did, and I got so much fucking wheel hop. I thought I broke the car, so then I let off immediately. Then I get back into it, but then I'm spinning again, and like I wasted so much time at the launch,
Yeah.
and I'm doing like a fucking
he's
17
pulling.
second
Yeah.
pass. Like the stock car does way better than. I'm like, holy Jesus! But then. What I would say is in any community, anytime I've done anything, people are so willing to help. I instantly had people come rushing over to my car afterwards and, they're laughing and stuff, but then they end up giving help. They're like,
Right.
okay, this is what you're going to do now, kind of ease off the, it's better to like just do a normal start and then romp on it than it is to just dump the clutch. They're like, start with that. And it's crazy how much every little thing changes your time.
Oh, yeah.
It's nuts. It's
I'm trying to
absolutely nuts.
think of with that sort of feedback though, like which community does it best.
Anyone
far
I've been
as-
to has been so nice.
It was like helping out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
man.
like the proactive support, I feel like I've gotten the most proactive support from the drift scene because
Yeah.
it was younger.
Yeah.
Everybody there's young. Mostly everybody there's younger. So there's not as much of like the age.
So wait,
Yeah, we're all just there trying to figure it out
do you
together,
think
so-
then there's maybe like a generation gap with it, and then when you guys are old, you'll be at the drift track, and there'll be a bunch of old people drifting?
I think there'll be I bet you by the time the old drift community hits the old maturity, like we get older, I think it'll switch.
Who's the oldest drifter?
There's some people up there in FD.
I want like an 80.
Well, no. Drifting
That'd be sick.
That'd be terrifying.
not
Why?
that no, it's not, I mean probably over in I would say there's probably still some first generation drifters in Japan, but not in America. They're not. I mean, that's barely. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously they're first.
Well,
generation.
why
I sound
is
like a
it just
fucking idiot.
because drifting just got more popular in the United States? That's why we don't have older people drifting, or is it not an old person sport?
I think it's a little bit of both. I would say it's not really an older person's grassroots activity.
Why?
Why do you have to say it like that? You trying to?
I was disgusted. I was trying to gaslight you.
I don't
I'm
think
setting you up for.
I don't think you can. Like,
You can't drift if you're old.
you see what I'm doing here? He's just every single time I say a sentence, he just gets louder.
Well, you're like, I don't think old people can drift. You can't just go saying that.
What'd you say?
I said what you said. In quotes.
No, I think that in the, as you get older, I think there are certain like motorsport activities that you're more aligned with because that's what you grew up with. And as you get older, I think sometimes it gets harder to try different motorsport types. I think people that grew up drag racing, drag race now. That's why there's drag racing families. That's why a lot of times kids, if their dads or moms drag race, they drag race. Like that, it's a huge generational thing. And I don't think you see people saying, oh, I started in drag racing and then went to track racing and then
Right.
went to drifting
Yeah.
and then went to, autocross, right? Like there is a path of motorsport.
Yeah.
And I think it ends with track racing or it ends with professional drag racing.
Yeah, and I think one of you brought it up is that it's kind of like a newer thing here, so I think it just hasn't been there long enough to build those.
It's less than 25 years old.
Yeah, build those generations.
That's
'Cause,
what I
like
was wondering.
I know some like older guys, like even I know some older people that do drift. Like they're not out at every
Like
event.
80?
No,
Oh.
like maybe
I'm
like
looking
40.
for like a 80.
like 40. I
40
would
ain't
say.
old. 40's the new 20.
You're just saying
Yeah.
that because you're getting.
I know. I'm close to 40.
Yeah.
Closer to 40 than I am.
I don't know. Going back to the real conversation because you keep fucking giggling like a schoolgirl. I think that there's like a difference between the motorsport types though and how much each one is willing to help. And I do think because the drift community is younger, there's less of like that age sort of blocker that exists in some of the other sports.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
That
they're
makes
super
sense.
helpful. I mean, I remember my first day, I literally went out to the skid pad and immediately lost one of my tie rods, like just sheared. And I was like, well, day over. I mean, like I had like another one, but I was like, I've never done tie rods before. Like, I'll figure it out. But like, I immediately had guys running over like, it's fine. You just lost a tie rod. You got the other one. Just go in a straight line back to the pits. Don't turn. I'm like, okay. So did that. Drove the car off, and I had like 3 guys come over. Like we were all wrenching on the car. We had it back on in like 15 minutes.
So
That's
Dakota,
awesome.
I have a question then.
Hi.
Because I think you're out of the 3, you're the only one that hasn't participated in a drift event,
Okay.
in a full track racing event, right?
Well,
you haven't done
on
like
a
an
bike, I
HPD. Okay, so in a car though.
In a car, no.
And,
Well, no, I have.
have you? Okay, what'd you
With
do?
Continental.
Where were you?
And what's the name of that city in California? You remember, Joe's?
Palm Springs.
Where's the track?
Oh, the Thermal Club.
Thermal Club. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it was. The BMW driving school.
So you do. Okay, so
That's scary.
having putting the pressure on, having somebody, you have some experience just getting started in it.
Yeah.
For somebody that may not, right? They didn't have that single track time at California or something like that. Do you think people are missing out by not doing those activities?
Yes, honestly,
100%.
and it's with any activity, anything with motorsports. You guys are missing out so much. You learn so much, and I think you can appreciate cars so much more too. Like that was such a unique experience too, because not only am I not using my car, but I'm getting to hop between multiple platforms and you get to see how they react differently. So I know that's a unique experience. But even taking your car to a track, and whether you're doing the drag strip or autocross or drifting, you are going to learn so much about your car and about how you drive. And it's probably going to humble the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And you're going to realize that you're slow as shit. But that's okay, because it gives so much room for improvement. And if you're like me, I enjoy improving. Even if at the end of the day I have the slowest track time out of every single person there, but it's faster than my first time, I had a good day. And it's really fun. And like by the end of autocross, I was really doing that. I was beating myself up because they're listing everybody's times and you can see them, and there's like awards and stuff like that. So I was getting really beat up. But then like after talking with the instructor and stuff like that, like by the way, I didn't pay. The instructor just came up, started hanging out. He's like, "You want to go for a ride in my turbo Miata?" I was like, "Yeah." And it was great. Anyways, he really just beat yourself. You don't got to beat anyone else. This is your first day. How are you expecting
Right.
there's people that have been doing this for 10 years that are here right now. Just beat yourself. And I was like, okay. So I started working on my time, and that's when it clicked. And then I was just having so much fun. But yeah, you're absolutely missing out a ton if you're not at least going and trying these things.
Yep.
I think at some point, you don't need to do it your first year of getting into cars or your second year or anything like that, but I would aim to do it at some point down the road. And let's say maybe you build a stance car and you're into car shows, that's fine. Go to an event, find a friend or something, or go watch. You could just watch or get a ride along. And I think it'll just change your opinion on so much.
Yeah, it really changes the outlook, because it's like, even with like my FRS and stuff, I was getting really like, not the fastest car out there,
Yep.
but like, we did that thing at Road America at like the Motorplex or whatever, like the autocross track. And it's like, we took that out there, and I was like, this thing rips. I'm like, this is fun as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, screw it. I don't need more horsepower.
No,
like
100%.
It made me respect like what the platform was actually built for a lot more. And it was like, it does give you a different outlook on everything where, as cool as 800 horsepower is, you can have a lot of fun with
You'll
pretty
never
much any
use
car.
fucking 800
I remember,
horsepower.
like, even when we went to the Continental trip,
Yeah.
one of the, we were driving M4s and M3s and like the new M240s. We were ripping those cars, like Supras, NSX. We were driving everything. And we got to the Mini Coopers.
Yeah, we
It
had
was like a little
blast in
autocross thing with
those.
the Mini Coopers. I was geeking out with the
Yeah.
Mini Cooper. It
They
was
were
so
even
much
fun.
fun.
I'm convinced that you're doing half the service you could if you're only building your car to show it off.
Yeah.
Like if there's one thing to try and do, it's to try and use the car. Because I like, even on the conversation of having a ton of horsepower, like I have fought for high horsepower numbers before in a car that I've never used for the sake of saying I have a lot of horsepower. And I think as I've gone through some of these like transitions and the motorsport and driving thing, it's like the amount of horsepower you have in a show car means zero to me. It really, like, it doesn't mean anything because it's all just a show, right? Like, it's cooler, in my opinion, if you have a GR86, a BRZ, an FRS, an RX-8 that we saw when we were out at VIR,
That was
just hauling ass. And you can tell that if you were in that car, you would be shitting yourself because they are going through those turns at a speed that you would
They
not
are pushing
feel
those
comfortable.
cars to the absolute
Exactly.
They're
limit.
using every bit of it.
And
that-
that's cool. That's a cool feeling when you get into a car where, like, I think that's why Mazda Miatas are so much fun. People love them so much because you can go
you run them wide open.
100%, and then it's all on driver experience on what you can do with the car. None of it's helping with the car.
I know. Gears and Gasoline just dropped at time
K-cars?
filming this. They just dropped the first episode of the K car.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And the one of them had like ITBs and everything, and they were like going up like the Blue Ridge Parkway, and this thing is just screaming, and he's like, "I'm going 40 miles."
Yes,
an hour."
yeah. But they were having a fucking blast. They were like, it feels like it's perfect for it because you're running it wide open the whole time. That's why, like, I have a perfect analogy. And to bring it up, I just bought a Honda Grom, right?
Oh,
But this is why it's fun.
This man bought a Honda Grom 3 hours ago.
This is why it's
much.
fun, and this is why I bought it. You guys are saying it. Although it's super small, it's a 125cc. I can run that fucker wide open through town and just be having a blast. You don't need a 1000cc bike to have a good time. So that it goes to show. It's the same reason, like,
Do you think it's because it's taking the ego away from the platform, though? Like when you have a
little
600,
bit.
when you have a
Yeah,
600, when you have a leader bike,
your confidence goes,
your
whoop.
confidence just skyrockets.
Yeah, when
you
you-
don't get to have that confidence on a Grom or when you're in a Miata that's, got 100 horsepower really when you come to think about it. It takes all of that like facade away from driving.
Yeah, I was just about to say too, like, one thing I learned with getting the Supra, like having more horsepower, paying for a more expensive car isn't going to be the reason you have fun with it. I can have exactly as much fun in an S2000 that I have in my Supra. I promise you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the car, and there's certain things that I like maybe a little more than a S2000, but I can have the same amount of fun. So anybody that's listening that's really like just killing themselves over this dream car that they want, I promise you, you don't need to spend the money to have a really good time in a car. Use what you have and figure out ways to use it, whether it's back roads and country roads, just having some fun driving, or taking it to your first autocross day, or bringing it to a car show for the first time. Yeah. And I promise it's just not like if you buy that $80,000 car, that's not like the answer. It's not like you just get in and it's like, oh, this is the perfect car. It's like, no, you can still enjoy like every platform. You don't need to spend money to enjoy a platform.
Yeah, spend more time of your summer with your car running and on the road. Like not every
Look
single
who's talking.
But you don't have to you don't have to just keep building your car over and over and over. Like enjoy
Self-reflecting right now.
enjoy the
I need to listen
drive.
to myself.
It's
I need
important.
to do this.
It's important to do this. Alex Martinez.
Yeah, you drive a car that's reliable, all of a sudden you start saying shit like that.
Hey,
I like
listen,
it.
I had the Nissan Gloria for the greater part of last year. Stayed on the road the entire time.
Well,
Had a
except when
blast
you
with
picked it up.
That was a tie rod issue. We got it
Yeah,
fixed,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Well, I'm just saying.
The Ferrari ran the whole year.
Did it?
Actually, yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ferrari
All
ran the whole
okay,
year.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The Gloria went all the way to Tennessee and back, Mr. Dakota Stone.
Okay, did it?
Yeah,
When?
because it was on a trailer, but then Dustin's truck couldn't get it further than 45 minutes out of town, so
Oh.
we drove it for the other 12 and a half hours.
Okay, all right.
The
I'm
S2000
sorry.
was running perfectly fine after we got it back.
Just
and
shoved
then
it in
we
a
just,
corner in the garage and never touched it.
yeah, because it was really ugly. I
I've
can't
never
get
even
over how
gotten
ugly
a
it is.
ride in that car, bro.
You would really enjoy that.
I know.
And now
I've
it's all
heard you
torn
rip it.
apart.
I've been behind you. That was like the most I got to experience. And
Once
it looked
we
like
once
a-
Jealous a clap car?
I am. Like,
Team
I love
clapped.
this 2000.
team clapped. Go fuck yourself.
Clap.
Wow. Okay.
No,
Okay,
him.
that car sucks. That stoved in fender, all the fucking paints
We don't have that
flipping off
in
of it. The mirrors are still vinyl wrapped. Thing looks
Fender-
like a
Fender-
fucking rolling
hey,
It's got a
turd.
body kit taped to it. now.
Yeah,
It's
right
fine.
now
It's
there's
a
no
turd
fenders
with a
on 'em.
turd bow,
Yeah, okay. It's a fun car and it's enjoyable.
and it's ugly.
And if you ever want to see the most silly thing ever, watch Dakota ride his Grom around town. Big boy on a small bike, looks a little bit like a circus show.
Yeah, it is. It is something.
We hit up some yard sales this morning. We're driving in the GR86. We just look behind Dakota, just like,
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's so fun. So fun.
what'd you say? He's like, look like a pine tree behind us.
Man looks like a beefy
Like,
pine tree.
It's a weird analogy, but I could see it. Like,
Then he
guys
wasn't
gotta
wearing a
get
hat
jobs.
or sunglasses, so it's just his hair whisking in the wind.
Okay, all right. Sounds like
He's
you
selling it
liked
now.
it a little too much.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're probably going to take a little break. And when we come back, do we know what we're talking about? Stop it.
gotta get one in
See you
there.
in a minute. Oh,
Everything.
you doing the that's
Everything.
gonna fuck them up editing.
I know.
All right, sup bitches,
Hey, we're back.
Hey, language.
sup bitches. All right, I wanted to have a debate, so I was trying to think of something because the problem that sucks here is we're all from the Midwest and we're like, hey bud, how you doing? Oh, you're doing good. Oh, I like this. Yeah, I could see that, but I'm more. We're too nice, and
Well, are you?
yeah, I'm way too kind. I can't get. I'm just too fucking kind.
I feel like Peter would have
Anyways,
some things
so
to say
we
about
were
that.
talking in between the break, and I was just like, we were trying to think of something that we do have differing opinions on. And one thing I thought of recently that I've really just started hating is new muscle cars. I don't like them, and I think they all kind of suck. So
Give me an example.
I'll give you multiple for multiple.
We just want one.
No, I need to, because there's people are gonna be like, oh well, then this brand is good. Well, this brand is, no, they all fucking suck. Okay, I drove what was Kirk's car? Is a Mustang GT350.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was the most gorgeous cars, like that Battleship Gray. I drove it and I was like, oh, this is it. Okay, well, I mean it's a car. Yeah, all right. Did not.
Did
impress
you
me
get
very
it
much.
above like 3,500 RPM?
Yeah, and it made the loud Mustang noises. Ooh, I don't care. I'd rather have my Supra any day of the week than that car. I really would. I truly mean that. And if people are mad about it, they can be mad about it. Next up is Camaro SS. My buddy got one. We were fucking stoked. We were like, hell yes. He went from a Honda S2000 to a Camaro SS. And we were like, dang, like he was the first in our friend group to get a newer V8 muscle car.
What year?
I want to say it was the 45th anniversary. So I don't know which year that would make it. Probably like a 2012-ish.
They really be making anniversaries for everything.
Yeah, for everything. You're right.
It's
Anyways,
the
okay.
45th year.
Real quick, so we're up to speed here. We both of us were like, I can't see shit out of it. It's really not that fun to drive. Interior's basic as fuck and the electronics suck. You got rid of the car. Next up,
I feel like you could say that about any car.
Challenger SRT 8. Drove it on the track. Made me hate it more than I hated it before. My God, that thing was, you call them a boat? Yeah, no shit. That didn't feel good. The power delivery wasn't there for me. It felt like they were trying to make the Challenger into a luxury car, which it doesn't need to be. Maybe because it's so big, they just have room for the more shit. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Newer muscle cars have gotten boring.
I think you've picked some very specific vehicles, and I still think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think Ford Mustangs, we'll start with that platform. The new S650 has already been regarded as a fantastic.
Oh, the one
upgrade.
you can rev with your key fob?
The one that you can also have a drift mode with.
With
Oh,
drift stick.
Ford's drift mode is the biggest hoopta.
You've never.
They put
you've
that in the
never used
RS in like fucking 2014 too. It had a drift mode.
Isn't it
This
front wheel
got
drive?
drift stick.
No, an
Yeah.
RS isn't front wheel drive.
Yeah.
All
So
wheel drive
so how are you supposed to drift all wheel drive?
with drift mode. They put it rear wheel drive bias.
Did they?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's still power going on the front, but it was a lot less, and that was drift mode. And it's
Yeah.
just,
Well,
it's a hoop. It's for kids to get excited because they see the car has a drift mode.
It's not for kids, right? The whole point is that it's a driving experience. So like,
I would say that the marketing of the drift mode for the RS was strictly
for kids.
marketing.
It was for kids.
Just
we're
the
talking about the
marketing
Mustang. We're not
Okay,
talking
okay,
about
all
the
right,
Focus.
sorry.
The Focus was literally targeted to people like Dakota,
Was
and he
it
bought one,
kids?
so he nailed it. So
called Dakota Kid?
I was a kid when I got it.
so when we look at like the Mustang, the new S650, it comes with a lot of new tech.
Yeah,
It's
like
it's
key fob revving.
key fob revving.
Yep.
Sure, some of it's gaudy. I
Yeah.
would say some of it's a little over the top.
Very gaudy.
But there's some other really great things about it. The brake system is all new, upgraded, awesome, good quality. You've got a lot of new power that's coming from the new S650 and the chassis and how it actually handles that power and the rigidity and the structure. Like, it's a good upgrade on a platform that's affordable and easy to get your hands on.
Okay.
When we compare some of the new stuff that's coming out from Nissan's coming out the Nissan Z, right? Took 2 years to fucking get once they released it. And we're getting a twin turbo, 3 liter? making 400 horsepower and a 6-speed. There's nothing special about what the Nissan Z is. There's nothing special coming out of Nissan, right? Toyota came out with what? The Supra?
The GR Corolla.
The GR Corolla.
GR86.
Can't get your hands on. GR86, low horsepower car. What's new about the GR86? Nothing.
The power band.
So they fixed the terrible power band
They
in the
fixed
first
the only
was
thing
needed.
Yeah, they fixed
Yeah,
the only thing
they
the
did.
car needed.
They did need it.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people say it needed to be turbocharged, but I think
I
to keep it
disagree
more
with that.
cost friendly, I think it's a good car.
But
the way
what
it
I'm
is.
saying is like when you look at like a brand new Toyota, for instance, like the new GR86, you look at Nissan, the Nissan Z, the Supra was only possible because of BMW.
Let's go.
If that collaboration didn't exist, Toyota would have never made that car.
And if they did, I couldn't afford it.
And if they did, it wouldn't work as well as you think it. Well, it would work super well, but it would not be near the
still
amount of
wouldn't-
potential.
It wouldn't be out yet, and it would probably be $100K MSRP.
Yeah.
It'd be like the R35.
Like the Mustang, the new Mustang's not trying. It's trying to do new stuff. It's constantly trying to progress without making the price tag climb exponentially. It's making cars available to people that can only spend $25,000, $30,000 on a car, and they continuously try to give you more every single time they introduce a new generation. Whereas I think sometimes with the other car brands that we like Toyota, like Nissan, like things like that, if they are in that sub 30K bracket, which not very many are, if any at all right now, it's more of the same. It's just refined more of the same. Domestics these days, you look at the Ford Mustang, you look at the Chevy Camaro, you look at the Chevy Corvette, you look at what Cadillac came out with. They're constantly trying to refine the power that they had 10 years ago into a platform that's leagues better than what the competition is. Like the new C8, the top tier new C8, is objectively one of the best cars you can buy for $1, hands down. If you can get your hand on it, the only thing that's better than it is a $300,000 GT4 RS.
Jules, what do you think about C8 when you drove it?
See-
Best car you can get your hands on?
The one that we drove had
You
some really bad brakes and it was kind of poopy. But
I also drove
you're
a
talking
base model
You're talking
C8.
about the new Z06,
Yes.
like the brand new
Well, that
one.
shit's like fucking $400,000.
Exactly.
I hope it's good. I hope it's the best thing I ever drove. It's the price of my house.
the
And
thing.
my house isn't $400,000. I just know the actual cost of the car.
I don't think that the new age muscle cars are poopy. I think there are some that are poopy, but I think for the most part that, when you compare them to other cars on the market, specifically like the Japanese cars and things like that, or even like the German cars, the interiors to me seem like they're just stuck in 2008. Like nothing has been updated on the interior. Like all the infotainment stuff seems laggy. Like it just seems like it comes out already outdated.
What is it? The new Mustang now features what's it called? It's that like gaming software that's in their
Oh yeah.
oh god, what's it called?
I can't remember what they
Driving
called
me
it. But yeah,
nuts.
it's like
But it's supposed to be upgraded and better.
Yeah.
I can't confirm
so
that. I
I
haven't
think like
seen it in person.
some do it better than others. Like Dodge, for instance, though, they cannot figure it out. I
But
feel like
okay, so I'll defend Dodge for the sake of this argument.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still not on your side here. You haven't convinced me.
Yeah, so with Dodge, for instance, I think you saying like they're trying to make it nicer and more luxurious. I don't think they are. I've never seen a marketing pitch. I've never seen a commercial, an ad, a TikTok, a photo that's been like,
Yeah, you're right.
you want to know when buy Dodge? Hellcat? Fucking air-conditioned seats. No. All of its fucking ads are going in a straight line and fucking lifting the front end of the car up. It has a very targeted audience. People are buying the Scat Pack because that's all they can afford. But that doesn't mean that it's doing something it's not intended to do. It's doing exactly what it's intended to do. It's hitting that exact customer that wants to have a loud fucking car that's got a shit ton of horsepower and can do nasty burnouts in a straight line.
The thing is, it has a shit ton of horsepower, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels fucking slow and sluggish and outdated, and that's the problem.
But that's like
They're
I
not
don't-
necessarily bad cars. They're just a million better options. There's so many other cars I would rather own than them.
based on your experience. And your experience is limited compared to other people with more experience that might like that more. Right?
So like Chelsea DeNofa drifting for RTR. Who are you talking about?
this is the thing, right? It's like people enjoy different chassis for different reasons. The reason people love the E36 chassis for drifting, for instance, is because it's a very, very balanced and rigid chassis. People love it, and when you modify it, when you throw a bunch of power in it, you can throw 1,000 horsepower in E36, and it'll still behave the same way as if you had 400 horsepower in the chassis.
And it's
right?
cheap.
And it's cheap. But there are other people that fucking hate the chassis. They think it's overpriced, it's overhyped, it's dog shit, and you should just go get a like a 350Z, or you should go get a different chassis because they're not worth the price. Well, what's the difference between the two? The only difference between the two is experience. The person that actually has the experience on the chassis, like the depth, can tell you that it's a fantastic chassis, and here's the 3 reasons why. You may not like the Dodge because it felt sluggish to you or felt big. Not saying it's not sluggish or that it's not big, but there's also a chance you didn't use it right. There's also a chance that you didn't know how to drive a heavy car. There's also a chance that you don't know how to manage weight transfer.
He's like,
oh, I know how to manage weight transfer. I've been doing it my whole life.
But that's the point, right? You may not have had that experience to keep it under control, to use the power that the car has there. You tried to force the car to do what you want instead of learning how to drive the car. The Corvette is a great example of this. The Corvette, I didn't like driving either. I spent 2 days with Ron Fellows Raceway driving that with instructors, and I felt like the front end was super soft, and I felt like I couldn't turn it. And then at the end of the 2 days, I asked an instructor to take me out, go 100% in this car with a stock base model because I didn't like the experience. He then proceeded to show me everything I did wrong. He showed me why the front end felt so light. He showed me why my turn-ins were such dog shit. He showed me why this is a great platform, but you can't force it. The tolerance of you being able to force a base model C8 through a track is really bad because it is mid-engine and you're not familiar with how that weight transfer really feels. You have to load up the front a ton and you have to use your brakes a ton just to get the weight shifted, and then you go into the turn-in. The 2 days leading up to that, thought the C8 was absolute dog shit. I still don't like the platform. But that doesn't mean other people can't drive it better and actually know how to use it.
I didn't say nothing about that, Alex. I just said there's a lot better cars you could get for your money.
Yeah, but you're basing it on your experience.
Yeah, and everything about them. Nothing that you've said about those cars has piqued my interest in them anymore. I think it's a tired platform. It's like playing Call of Duty 50 for the 50th time. I'm fucking over it. You're making Mustang 50th edition, and it's the same platform over and over again. And the biggest things that they're trying and making new are adding 10 horsepower and revving it from the key fob, and that doesn't get me excited. I would rather Ford just come out with a new sports car and push the limits like Nissan did with the Z. Although it's not like maybe the most groundbreaking car in the universe, at least it's something different, and that's them trying something different. I'm tired of Camaros and Mustangs and Challengers. It's the same fucking car for the last 75 years, and I'm fucking over it. Just try something new.
But I think they are, and you're just not seeing it.
Okay, what's the sports car that Ford has came out with recently?
So Ford, I would agree with you, because their most recent innovative thing was the Mach-E. That was their biggest.
Yeah,
that we agree,
and it's really tough too because
I think we can all agree. Yeah, we can all agree.
Are going electric.
Yeah, I think we can agree. Ford maybe not doing it. Their most exciting thing is the S650, which isn't. It's not new. It's another innovation.
Let's not forget that the S550 absolutely killed it too.
It also was a fantastic platform.
I do like the looks of those. They did a good job.
They also perform very well for the value.
And they're reliable.
Unpopular opinion, I thought the EcoBoost was kind of neat in the Mustang as well, but
Chevy.
Still wouldn't buy it.
Chevy has the Corvette.
Yeah.
Yay.
Mid-engined. And they just came out with the E-Ray,
right.
An electric Corvette that has
that's
can be driven that can be driven that all year round.
Torque vectoring and stuff, right?
Yeah. Which you may not like it, but it's still way fucking different than what Corvette had 6 years ago.
Right, that's innovating. Okay. That's trying something new.
Cadillac.
They still got to slap the Corvette name on it, though.
Of course
so
they do.
Sell it.
Yeah.
Cadillac has the new black wings.
Those are cool.
They shifted out of just the Dash Vs.
See, that's a better argument. Now you're picking up, CTSV wagons, the new black wing. There is some good muscle cars out there. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the only one that I think we would agree on hasn't gone as far as we would want is Ford.
What about Dodge?
I think Dodge is doing what it's always done. But it's never pretended to be anything it's not. It's always been the same.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
but like, why can't they introduce some more models, something different?
Because why the fuck would they need to?
Because there's no boring.
There is absolutely nothing telling Dodge, hey, we don't want more Dodge Challengers.
Hey, Dodge.
You're not
Dodge, make some new cars.
You're not gonna buy
Charger and Challenger tired. Need a new car. I miss SRT4s. Why didn't you do something cool with the Dart? Instead, you just made it economy boring mode.
Didn't they make the Dodge Hornet?
No.
The Hornet just came out.
Where?
The hell are you talking about?
Yeah,
isn't it called the Dodge Hornet?
Who's telling you that?
The world?
You talk to the world?
Dodge came out. It's like a
It's like a
haven't seen
Xbox
that.
720 kind
yeah.
of thing.
It's an SUV. They came out.
Yo,
Yeah, it's got
Oh, I don't
270
care about
horsepower,
that.
a 1.3 liter or a 2 liter.
No,
It's a
Alex,
plug-in
you're not
hybrid SUV.
listening to me. You're hearing me, but you're not.
okay, we're talking about muscle cars here.
Yeah, you're,
But
well,
he
I did bring
just-
up
he just-
SRT4 and stuff.
Yes,
I did.
he asked and I answered.
But I guess that's
again,
just
I don't
the
want
times,
that one.
But like, I thought Ford with the Focus ST, like that was cool. They brought that over. They did that.
Yeah, the 4 years
and
that they
Dodge
did
just
that.
shut the fuck up and stayed quiet. They didn't answer.
I'd be willing to bet that Ford will come out with something if the GR Corolla grows roots stateside.
You think they will? Because
do.
like
I do
you think
because
they'll bring
because-
it back after
because-
a couple years.
Well, I don't know if they'll call it the Ford Focus.
There's
or
probably
whatever.
some
But-
Pinto or something.
you
they'll bring-
have
the
to-
Pinto RS.
You have to think about it, right?
That would
What's
be
out there?
See
What's out there for the hot hatch?
everything.
No,
What do you
no.
mean? Like GR
What
Corollas,
platforms
Golf
are out there?
Rs, GTIs. In Europe, they still have the STs.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff,
but stateside, you've
Stateside,
got
okay,
Volkswagen and GR Corolla, and maybe some small Mazdas here and there, but they're not really considered.
and the
hot hatches.
Veloster.
Technically,
Veloster.
the Type
Veloster.
R.
Veloster Run.
Velosteran's not made anymore.
Oh, it's not?
Nope, Nope.
Come on.
it's not made anymore. What'd you say?
I said technically a Type R.
Oh, yep. Type R.
Is it really
That's
hot
a hatch.
hatch.
It's a hatchback.
Oh,
Super's a hatch.
But does it need to be like?
Yeah.
Does it need to be all-wheel drive?
but I
to be
guess what I'm
considered a
trying to
hot
say
hatch?
is like
Anyway,
snub trunk 4-door. I think Ford Focus, GTI, Golf R as a hot hatch. I guess I don't see the Civic Type R as a hot
Yeah,
hatch.
no,
That's
the
new to me.
hatches have definitely quieted down quite a bit.
because of SUVs.
Yeah,
Gross.
because, well, it's just a bigger hatchback.
Yeah, that's all it is. And in my opinion, I think that I truly believe this. If Ford has always been one of those companies that I think like they never want to be first to much, but they'll almost always be second or third to everything. And I think that if the GR
like you try it first, and then we'll see how
yeah.
it
Yeah, and I think like if the GR Corolla holds and they see sales on like the GTI and the Golf R kind of stay around, and you've got the audience of people that don't want to buy SUVs, Ford will probably go take some fucking random ass chassis in Europe, bring it over to the States, throw an ST badge on it, make it 250 horsepower, and say, hey, look at this brand new hot hatch we introduced, even though it's the same fucking thing that they have somewhere else in Europe.
I can't see it.
To come
Can't
back
see
to
it
earth
happening.
a little bit, the thing you got to remember too is these are all companies making money and providing families food and all that. You know, like there's jobs at stake. Performance cars are a very small portion
Tiny.
of the sales, and they don't really give a fuck. I mean, I think it's like the big flashy object to get everyone's attention, but in reality, you're selling Corollas, Camrys, SUVs, any Explorer, whatever the fuck they're selling nowadays. That's the bread and butter. Like I remember something about when Lamborghini came out with the Urus, however you pronounce that shit. I can't afford it. I can't say it. That like skyrocketed Lamborghini sales.
Top sales.
Yeah,
Still
so
are.
that's why Ferrari started like making the
For a
not
Sangway.
SUV. Yeah. So it's like I get it. That's what sells. But just I wanted to be angry car enthusiast, fist in air, and I'm not sold on those Challenger Chargers.
I think in my opinion, I think that most of the domestic car markets are innovating. Like the brands are innovating. They may not be in our interest, but they still are.
Yeah.
Cadillac is, Chevy is, General Motors, right? I think those guys are. I think that a lot of times those brands are also carrying ideas that get crossed over into the Japanese and European market. I still think objectively the best cars you can buy right now if you're on like that budget oriented side of things, I still think is Volkswagen. I still think
Volkswagen kills
Volkswagen
it.
still kill it in terms of practicality, power, driving experience, interior quality, exterior design. Volkswagen just does it. They just only get, slapped on the wrist with some sort of terrible fine every 10 years because they're doing
but we're
something they're not
usually on the
supposed to.
side of their fine. We
Lawsuit.
don't care. Like,
Yeah.
Environmental.
they're getting some environmental shit, and I'm doing an EGR and DPF deleting my garage. It's the same shit. That's why I'm on their side. It's like, guys, he got caught. You gotta
mean-
be a little smarter than that.
I'll agree with Alex. Like they've continued to like slightly improve on themselves over the years, but it's like then I look at Dodge specifically. It's like they've been making the same fucking car with the same chassis for literally like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like just come out with at least like Ford's like, okay, we got a new chassis now.
Yeah.
Dodge is like, nah, just slap the
Okay.
same shit on
I
the
got a
same
question for
chassis.
both of you. If you had to pick up a American muscle car, a newer one, what would you get?
Ooh.
If one of you knows, just go.
Go ahead. I got a thing on this one. Unless
I'd get a if I had to get a car right now.
Yep.
I'd probably get a Blackwing.
Okay.
That's right. What do those have in it? I'm gonna sound really stupid, but is that considered?
It's the same Corvette motor, not the mid-engined.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like a twin turbo V6 or something.
No.
Okay.
No.
I would. Man,
It's a supercharged V8, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with like a S550 or S650.
Ooh, can I take it back?
Oh, I'll allow it.
ACR Viper.
They don't even make those
It's
anymore.
not made. It had to be
I
a
know, it
newer.
doesn't even matter.
It had to be a newer. Okay, so you're
Yeah,
like,
you're
all right.
probably-
Now, if you had to pick up a Japanese car that's newer, that was just made right now, what would you pick? I know these are big questions. They don't need to be like set in stone. Just right now, what do you feel in this very
Honestly,
moment?
I'd probably go snag a Supra on it, like a manual
Oh,
Supra.
really? Oh, I thought you might say Type R. It seemed like you were interested in that.
Yeah, I love the
Okay,
Type R, but I
manual
mean, I
All right.
feel like a Supra.
Okay.
Where it's at.
Okay. Alex.
Probably a GTR. I still think that's like the best thing to
Yeah.
come out of
Yeah.
Japan right now. is
Absolutely.
Nissan's GTR.
Okay. Now let's go Euro.
Euro.
Oh, that includes
Ooh.
Italian.
Yeah, that is a big.
Yeah, that neck gets
Umbrella.
quite large.
But I mean, try to keep it a little bit realistic here,
Okay,
like something
okay.
you would actually shop for. If
Oh,
you would
okay,
consider.
Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR.
That was quick, and those are beasts.
I'd go with I'd probably go with the G80 M3.
Cool. Yep, I agree with you 100%. I don't know enough about those cars, but I'll trust your word for it. Okay, now, out of those three cars, which would you pick?
So the options were
Blackwing
Blackwing, AMG GTR,
or
GT
R35?
I picked all like big engine.
Yeah,
Big cars in general.
Big
Yeah.
engine, big car. Out of the three there, I would probably choose. I'd probably choose the AMG GTR.
Out of those three,
Yeah.
my pick. I'd probably have to go with the G80.
Okay. Point set match. I'll be back after the break. There. All right, we're back.
We're
Welcome
talking-
back after that mic drop. Alex, what are we talking about in this segment?
Yeah, I don't know why you think that's a mic drop.
Oh, it was savage.
No.
It was
I'm
actually
gonna watch that part back.
kind of cringy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about some cringe. We're talking about some cringe shit because there's like this thing. I was on TikTok the other night,
Uh-oh.
and there's good stuff on TikTok.
Like
right?
what?
I like it. There's good educational stuff.
Okay.
I learn a lot out there. I get
Yeah.
to rewatch entire episodes of old TV shows because copywriting's not a thing on that.
That is
That
what
does get
I
weird.
have been watching entire SpongeBob episodes.
I don't
on the TikTok
understand.
feed.
I don't understand the
Love
legality
SpongeBob.
of it, but no, I was coming across and I got hit with an ad, and it was for a Ford commercial.
Oh,
Okay, I don't
And-
think Ford.
And
Yeah,
I was
cringe.
watching this Ford commercial, and I'm like, this is terrible. This is the most cringe thing I've ever seen.
Was it
It's
like one of those like user generated?
no, it was like a
actually Ford?
63-year-old marketing executive somewhere knew that they had to make a TikTok commercial.
Oh God.
And found some like 32-year-old model in LA to stand in front of a fucking
Oh,
Ford
no.
Bronco or Ford
Oh,
Mustang.
no.
And they're like, this is how I modify my Ford Mustang. And it's like, it's so bad. It's so cringe. Like, and it's not cringe in the fact that they're trying to make it cringe. It's just objectively terrible to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and you can tell that there's like still this massive gap between some of these huge companies and then UGC. Like UGC is just when creators make the ad for the company then posts it. That's you'll see good stuff from that. A lot of paid partnerships. If you ever see a random video with like 1.5 million views and it's talking about Pennzoil, it's because Pennzoil's putting money behind that TikTok. Not people don't just love Pennzoil fucking installation videos. Okay,
Valvoline as well.
There's money behind. Hey, don't forget to replace your oil. Use Valvoline 5W30 synthetic. It's like holy shit, that video's got 1.8 million. Yeah, it's because Pennzoil's paying for the views. But
Exposed.
I started getting into this just a little bit more, and then I
You
started
dove into the
realizing
cringe?
I dove into the cringe more.
Oh,
There's
no.
a fuck ton of bad automotive cringe out there right now, where the only goal from the content creator is to gain a following, and I think it's kind of fucked. I think it's kind of ass backwards. Dakota, you don't make cringe content, so don't think this is about you. Okay.
Why'd you call me out? I feel like
How many noises have you made in this podcast thus far?
I feel like sometimes I make some cringy content, but it's just me trying to be stupid or funny. And then sometimes to some people it's cringy, sometimes it's funny.
Okay, so go deeper. What do you mean? What's cringe?
I just like
what's
making
making your
content.
skin crawl?
So there was a time where I think it was an individual where she had talked about how she was like changing her oil filter,
Okay.
and she had an air filter in her hand.
Oh.
Okay, cringe, right?
Yikes. But was it satire?
Apparently, they went multiple videos of this. They built up this massive like community that was just pissed at this girl for having the wrong part. And then she made a video like a week ago talking about how she bought like a GTR or something, and that the whole thing was satire, that it was a joke, that she knew it wasn't an oil filter, that it was an air filter. And there's a bunch of comments on her news video where it's like, oh my God, get him, girl. Like, oh, you showed him. You go chase that bag or whatever it is. And it's like, I'm like watching these videos and it's like, I feel like it's not helpful to do like these quick grabs of attention in the automotive scene and then be like, oh, well, actually me doing this, me purposely misinforming a group of people for the sake of views, I actually did it all intentionally. It was all just to make money. Like, doesn't that feel weird to you guys? Is it? Am I reaching here?
It's tough to say without seeing it because was it like
That sounds
blatantly
kinda funny.
obvious that it was satire, or was it like
Because that sounds kind of funny. I'd probably get a chuckle out of that.
it's tough to say without seeing it. Like, was it someone that genuinely didn't know and now they're just playing? Like, oh
Right.
no, I knew that was in an oil filter, duh. Or is it like it was blatantly obviously satire?
Okay, so it gets weird with TikTok, right? Because it's not like you're taking money from people. You're just taking like
Their attention.
10 seconds of their fucking day, to watch a video and be like, oh, you idiot, that's not an oil filter. It'd be different if it was like, asking for donations or like,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
GoFundMe or something like that. But when it's literally just like ad time
That's
paying
fair.
for that,
I think there's stupid videos though too.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around some of the content that I see that gets a lot of attention,
Yeah.
right.
and it's in the automotive space.
No, I know exactly what you're trying to get at. I don't know if that one
Is it?
is it.
Do you have one?
I have a whole genre.
Okay,
What's
hit
the
me with
genre?
it.
It's
I forgot to talk to the mic.
the
What do you got,
I'm gonna
Jels?
call out a very specific group of people here. It is the new WRX owners that go out in the rain and they do a slow panning shot of their car and be like, I just wish she'd eat my ass sometimes.
Whoa, what?
And it's just supposed to be shock value and
Oh,
just
I'm not
fucking
on that
like
side.
cringe and like just the stupid sayings.
I thought you were gonna
over,
say because the ones I get with, I've seen a million of these fucking. It's a picture of their car and they put some emotional quote over it.
Yeah.
And I hate that shit. I think that is the most desperate shit. If you just keep using a shot of your car and putting quotes on it, I hate.
I
that
think it all falls
shit.
under the
I guess
same-
that's similar. Yeah,
Is it
this
shock
just,
value?
Well, is it making fun of that? Like it's.
It might be. I don't know. I just remember that was like
Either
one
way,
that I
that's
saw like
stupid.
recently. I was like, what the fuck?
My God.
But yeah, the shock value ones, there's a fine line. But yeah, like I get it.
No, I think-
sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes you
just-
want to speak on and just let people know you're having a bad day. But
It could just be me getting.
when it's your whole account,
Well, that's what people do. Like, take it even outside of the automotive space, right? Like, I'm gonna bring up Mario's secret lover.
careful,
Logan,
he's right here.
Logan Paul, right? Is that the guy that you love? Jake Paul.
Oh, sorry.
You like
Mar-
Jake Paul instead of? Oh, okay, he likes both.
Okay, the guy that like his entire business model is like built off shock value.
Yeah.
Every single thing he does is shock value, and it almost feels like cheating sometimes because it's like it's rallying people against like some sort of like emotion, right? Like he just launched this new. I'm literally talking about it, so it's doing exactly what he wanted it to do, which is talk about it for free for organic marketing.
He won.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha,
He won.
Ed.
It's like
That's
so,
why Alex is mad.
That's why I'm so pissed about it. It's like, okay, so I know I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. I just don't want to talk
We
about
just
it.
had to beep every brand or his name every time he say it.
But it's
Okay,
like,
anyways.
the shock value I think in the automotive scene sometimes gets weird because I don't think it progresses. Like I don't think it does anything.
Yeah.
And bothers me sometimes when people purposely like get people pissed off in the automotive scene to then like use that emotion to get something from them, right? Like they build up this anger, more following, and then finally at the end they're like, ha, just joking. Thanks for the money. See you later, bitches. And then it's like, oh, I feel like the rug gets pulled out. Like it doesn't feel like it's good content.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's good for the community.
Is there anything that's sticking out to you?
Well, like I said, I mean, not to reiterate, I fucking hate the car shot emotional text.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that makes me want to fucking throw up. If you do it once, whatever.
I got
but
paid
when
for
it's
one of
your
those.
entire account,
I got paid for one of those.
see, that's what I'm saying. That's cringy. But well, no, it's not as bad. If you did it once, okay, whatever. You try to see if it, but to make
No, I
your
got paid for it.
entire
I
page.
just said that.
Okay, great.
All right, it's fine, Alex. It's okay.
Trying to
You're
defend-
okay. You don't have to defend yourself anymore.
At the end of the day, if it's getting views, it's getting comments, and it's not hurting anyone, then I can't necessarily be mad because they're playing the game. They got the game on lock.
So you
There's really
think-
no rules to all this stuff, man. It really
No.
is just kind of the
So do
freaking
you
Wild
think-
West out there.
So like if you wanted to be, let's say you wanted to be a I don't know, controversial figure online. Like you purposely spread misinformation. You
Okay,
purposely
that's
you purposely like you
different, though.
maliciously energize an audience to grow a following, and then you wake up one day, you make a video and you're like, hey, by the way, I'm just kidding. None of that was true. By the way, I've got this Prime water. It's super sick. And then there's an audience of
You're
people
advertising
that's like,
Jake Paul again.
there's like an audience of people that are like, oh, I'll buy that. I'll check that out. You know, or like the people that purposely go through a low point, like they purposely do a bunch of dumb shit to get a ton of attention.
No, I get what
and then
you're
they
saying.
have redemption arcs, and it's like you are monetizing the human emotion.
The thing, okay, if they're specifically saying misinformation, it's not satire. It's just like they're trying to make people believe something that isn't
Is that
real.
not
That's
satire?
fucked up. That's fucked. No, satire is like it's like the Onion on Facebook or wherever, like the magazine where like you know it's fake, and then there's those few boomers that are like, what? No, oh my God, and then they share it on their feed and they look stupid. That's their fault. They're just
Maybe
not
it's
aware.
maybe 2023 it's
So-
shifted. It's the opposite.
I think it's like
The creators are the onion.
if it's not like
That's pretty deep.
blatantly obvious. If people, that's what I'm saying. If people are trying to specifically manipulate to make something seem true really hard and like providing fake news
For their benefit.
that's different. That's
their benefit.
that's something
But it's all
fucked
for
up.
their-
And
but
I
it's
can't
all-
say I've really seen that.
But it's all for their benefit because it gets them views.
Okay, but it's like, go back to like the air filter thing. It's like, hey, I think it'd be really funny, right?
Yeah.
If I talk about working on my cars and I specifically show the wrong part every time because it's kind of funny.
That would be kind
Like,
of funny.
I,
but like
that doesn't hurt anybody. And then like, at the end of it, like, yeah, guys, I knew all along. Like that was the joke. Like having to explain the joke
ruins the joke.
ruins the joke. So it's like you're gonna keep it
So
going.
here's
a
what
fine
I'm.
line.
So
It's a
here's
fine
what I'm
line.
gonna
Yeah.
do for the next 4 episodes of my build
No, you can't
on
say
short.
it.
No, I'm gonna tell the podcast channel
Oh,
right now.
man. You better.
I'm going to purposely explain a part incorrectly for 4 episodes in a row. When I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna grab this torque bar and then I'm gonna grab like a wrench, and I'm gonna grab it in the video. And every time I mention like a part or product, I'm gonna say the wrong one. I'll do it for 4 videos, and I want to see what happens.
Your engagement gonna skyrocket.
And I'm gonna. It's like
You
when
could
people,
blow up.
it's like when people like purposely spell a word wrong in like a title or in like the captions and things like that.
I don't think they do that on purpose.
Oh, they do. There's
get
people
comments.
that 100% people do it on. You do it all the time. People do it all the time just to get engagement.
Ew.
Yeah, because people will autocorrect, and because the algorithm is
That's
built
gross.
on.
I don't
hey,
like
if
that.
somebody
That's
comments,
cringe.
shares, or highlights,
Yeah, that's weird, but
it's gonna go to more people. So
That's-
people will purposely misspell stuff.
I wear
Smart.
I wear
hate it.
certain things or put certain things in the background of all my videos so that way I get more comments, which I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, because you're trying to drive some sort of.
I want them to comment about it. That's the point. So
You put like weird shit back there.
Do you provide any context as to why it's in the background?
yeah, I would say like I try to theme it with the video.
Yeah, I'd say
it's
for
not
the
like
most part, it
completely
usually fits.
random.
It's not like you're just throwing like, weird ass shit. Back
right,
there.
right. Yeah, no, not that far with
Well,
it. But.
I think that's a great segue because we're not going to be providing any context
No,
in this
no,
next
no.
series segment. No context. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Never.
Are you sure?
Sheldon never ready.
Come on, dude.
Use your thick brain.
Okay.
You have to fight 100 Dodge owners in a parking lot, or
Okay.
100 GR86 owners in a parking lot. Who you
Dodge
taking on?
owners got that dummy strength. I will fight the GR86 owners. 100%.
Why? You get one sentence.
Dodge owners got that dummy strength. Okay, Jesus.
Gels.
I just picture all Dodge owners as Vin Diesel, so I'm gonna take the GR86.
They're literally meat cakes.
I'll take the GR86 boys.
I don't think I've ever. I swear to God, if the Matrix is real, if they started with the Dodge Charger NPC person, because they all look the fucking same.
Yeah, dude. Classic car shows. I feel like I talk to the same person 5 times in a row, and they say like a different version of the same exact thing 5 times in a row. Oh, anyways, do I have anything out of context?
Somebody asks you what you think of their car,
Yeah.
and it is absolutely dog shit.
Oh, I've had this happen.
What is the one thing? What's the one sentence? How do you reply to somebody without lying to them?
Oh, let me think, because I've had to.
It's a good start.
Dude, yes, I've said that a lot. It's a good start to the build.
Yeah. It hurts, but you're like, okay. It means that there's hope still.
The thing is, like, I can relate with it because I had shitty.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking tried working on a PT Cruiser and making and I did really stupid things. So like, I feel for them and I know what stage they're in. That's a lot of context for no context. Sorry, I had a cold. I had to go. Yeah, I would. It's a good start. It's definitely one that's been used many a time.
That's my favorite one.
Nice.
You want to know what I usually tell people?
Yeah, what do you got?
When somebody shows me a shit box, I'll look at it and be like, "So walk me through the build. Like walk me through what you're doing."
Damn. You said that to me before.
Oh.
Multiple. I'm just kidding.
You just make them explain everything that they don't have.
I'm just trying to get them. I want to
So tell me about it.
Yeah, you tell me about this because I'm having a tough time putting it together.
That's fucked up. It makes sense though.
Yeah, because then they can like share with what they're doing because maybe they are on the on a journey with green and pink panels or something.
All right. Pets in the vehicles or no pets in the vehicles? And I'm talking about your fun cars, not your just daily drivers.
Animals in the vehicle. I have my cat on my roof every single time I'm in the garage.
On the roof?
Not when I'm driving, but yeah, when I'm working on it. You want to see
No,
it?
not. I don't care while you're working. I'm talking about going for a drive.
Oh yeah, they can
Cats
be
in the vehicle.
Oh yeah, they can
pets
be
in the vehicles or no pets in the vehicles.
Yeah, they can be in the vehicle.
Okay, I was just wondering.
You can get clean.
Yeah, I've seen this, Alex. I know.
Yeah, I
You
follow
big
you on
boy.
Instagram. I see it every day.
Oh, okay.
On Instagram, I see.
Alex.Martini with 2 underscores.
The behind the scenes
what's
on that stuff is crazy.
Cringe content, just cats on their vehicles, always, all the time.
Oh my
It's just
God.
cringe, and they're
Gels.
doing it for
I
money.
God, I just hate what TikTok has done to the automotive scene.
What you got for out of context?
Neither of these people are getting out of this basement.
Okay, you're driving to work every day, and it is bumper to bumper traffic. We'll say 45 minutes, and it's only like if there's no traffic, 5-minute drive, but it's 45-minute drive. Are you picking up an automatic or a manual? I want you to be very honest. On the weekends, you go do whatever you want, but during the week, 5 days a week, you're driving that 45 minutes,
Automatic.
stop and go traffic.
Manual.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah.
It's never bothered me.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
And stopping? Oh, I've been in bad traffic. Well, I think what really ruined it for me was my Evo 10, the master cylinder went out, and
it gets
the
a little-
clutch would stick to the floor, and I went to auto motion like that.
Oh,
have
Dude,
to,
I
like,
was
take
flicking
your
it back,
toe?
and yeah, putting it
don't
forward and
turn
flicking it
left
back.
at automotion.
Oh my God, dude, it was nice. I drove my car up and down this. I went once, and I said, I am done for the fucking weekend. I am not moving the car, and I parked it, and I didn't move it. It was
Oh,
done.
damn.
Eh.
It really don't bother me, honestly.
Okay, Mr. Strong Legs, why don't you quit bragging and come up with a question?
Yeah.
Nope. Car show or car meet?
Show. Meats get weird sometimes.
Agree with Shell.
Not too much
That's
context.
it. That's it.
I'll pick meat.
Bet you would.
Yeah, I knew where
Big
that was
meat
going.
guy.
MEET. Meat.
Meat over a show, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind.
No
meat.
contact.
If you had to, okay,
I hate this segment. I get yelled at.
would you rather get a ticket
Yes.
because you did a burnout in front of a group of people, or because you street raced against an asshole?
Burnout. I think. Well, my one sentence. Street racing, way bigger ticket.
Yeah.
Jail.
Yeah. Burnout. Give me the burnout.
Yeah.
I
Burnout.
ain't got that money.
He had to throw it in there, just like doing a burnout in front of people.
Your
I
show.
feel like Automotion made you think of that question.
Well, because doing a burnout in front of people is an entirely different experience than doing a burnout for yourself.
I don't think I've ever done a burnout in front of people.
Have you ever had a car to do a burnout in front of people?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mustang.
When did you have that?
Supra.
Wasn't that when you were like 16?
I've had rear-wheel drive cars, Alex.
Have you?
Yeah.
You had the Ford Mustang when you were when?
I had an FCRX7.
Did you really?
No, I just want to do what you always do to me. Like, I didn't know you had
he had
that.
an FDR.
No, I never did. I had a Mustang GT when I was
Was it the one with the
16,
air
17.
vents pop out when you drop the clutch and
It was
launch
an
it?
auto.
ugh. You sure you could do a burnout?
You do a brake stand.
Yeah, same thing.
That's fine.
All right, Gels. Come on, man. Give us something.
What's up?
Give us a
give a
no context question. Stop being so polite.
Just try going off the dome right now. Just start saying question.
Talk.
Just
Talk,
start
speak.
Nothing
talking.
is there.
Speak.
Because what happens is you guys start asking me questions, and I have no time to think about anything.
Would you rather be Paul Walker or
Whoa!
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel. Paul Walker's dead. What kind of question is that?
I meant from the movie.
He's dead in the movie. He's not even there anymore.
Brian O'Connor
Oh, there we go. Okay.
or Dominic Toretto.
There we go. That's a lot better.
Which one would you rather be?
Brian O'Connor. You drive a way cooler
O'Connor,
car.
Yeah.
Huh?
Brian for sure.
Okay, fine.
Unless.
Jesus
Rest in
Christ.
peace, Paul.
You can only have one car from the first Fast and Furious film. What do you get?
There we
what do
go.
you take?
Okay, now we're
All right,
getting
all right.
somewhere. FD.
Eclipse.
Dom's FD. The only fucking import he ever drove.
Yeah, for real. For some
Then they
reason.
were like, dude, we can't have this guy driving imports too. We got to switch
a
that.
lot of context.
That wasn't why I was picking it, though.
I don't care.
Okay.
They just yell at me.
That's fair.
Well, I only give you more shit because you won't come up with a question.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
You still got nothing? Think of a movie. All right.
You need to be thinking about the question while we're asking questions.
that's
you do that?
impossible.
Okay. Big car enthusiast. Do you pick Finding Nemo or Cars, the movie?
I've got some really terrible news.
There's a reason I asked this.
I feel like I've definitely watched Finding Nemo more than I've watched Cars,
Not what the question was.
and I would probably choose Finding Nemo over Cars.
Okay.
Listen, I gotta say it.
He's never seen it.
There it is.
I've watched a portion of Cars
Exposed.
in Sears,
That's it? That's only...
and I've never watched the rest of it. I
how
choose
much-
Finding
hold on,
Nemo.
Hold on. How much of it did you watch while in the Sears? Like, what's a
Like,
portion?
that doesn't count. And why do you remember it?
Well, my father was dropping off some form of washer
Okay,
and or
so
dryer,
you head over to the
Okay,
TV
yeah,
section.
you had a
and
bit.
he was talking to
Yeah,
the
you were there.
service rep.
Damn, you could have probably caught the whole movie.
And I caught the chunk of space when the red car McQueen,
Red Car McQueen?
when he
What's his
has
first
trying
Say his first name.
lightning,
Okay.
All right.
when he was trying
First
to
chunk.
get out of this town,
Yep.
and there was an old cop
Yeah.
that was like moseying around following him because it didn't matter. He couldn't get out of there.
Dude.
And I remember Sally. Sally was introduced. Porsche.
Yeah.
Okay,
boxer.
you didn't even
She
get to see
cute?
the best part. The best,
Cute.
I try not to think of objects as cute.
the best part. That's Disney's whole
fucked
thing.
up.
That's Disney's whole thing. The best part of the movie is the tuner scene. You didn't even see the tuner scene. It goes so hard.
Well, I've
It
seen
does go
I've-
unnecessarily
I've
hard.
seen that clip,
but you need to see it in context, like
because
it
that's
just happens in
before
the
he
movie.
goes into the
Yes.
tiny town, right?
The drifting part too, where was his Doc or whatever
Oh, yeah.
teaches him like gotta turn
Dirt racing?
left to go right or whatever. And all of a sudden, the wheels shift. They're like, and he's like, whoa! Like that part, that really stuck in the old brain. I thought that part was really sick too.
So there
So
you go.
you should have watched the movie. So
Finding
you should
Nemo.
have said Cars just so you can fucking see it. But no, it was a trick question because I think objectively, Finding Nemo is a much better movie than Cars. But I wanted to see what you
Better
guys would
piece
say.
of film.
Yeah, the cinematography
Animated
is
film.
insane. How'd they record that far underwater?
How do you hold his breath for that long?
That's what I was wondering. Anyways, I don't know how they got all the cars to talk.
You got to find people that raise them right.
All right,
Tricks.
Fast and Furious 5 or Born to Race?
Born to Race pretty good. I think the fifth Fast and Furious is a little underrated though.
Fast 5.
I can't even remember which fucking one that is.
That's the one where they
Dodge Chargers,
they
baby.
took the police charges and like ripped the vault out of the wall.
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, I don't remember
Which is
that one.
apparently a precursor to the bad guy in Fast X. Fast 10.
Oh yeah, there's
I
10.
gave up.
You
on
changed
7.
my life, dumb.
I haven't seen like the last 4 movies.
Me neither.
I stopped on the 8th one, and then I just treated that as the end. And I just tried to
I
wipe
treated
it from
7
my
as
memory.
the end.
Yeah, well, I wiped the memory of 8 so that 7 is the end.
There you
But I
go.
watched 8.
Never watched it.
They should have just ended it at. I don't understand.
The end of it for me was when it was. It's been a long day
So
Yeah, 7.
without you, my friend. That's when the series ended in my brain,
Yeah.
and I think that's the last time I seen it.
Was that the last time you saw Paul Walker?
Yes. Well, it was like CGI.
Do you have a question yet?
You don't. You have to get one before we end this
Guys,
show.
We're not ending
You
it.
understand how my brain works. When we're talking, I'm not thinking of others. It doesn't make sense to me how you guys do that.
What do you mean?
Literally, just start talking right now. Just
Yes, go.
say a question.
Go. One word after another.
Two car
Chat
makes.
GPT yourself right now. Go.
Car video games. Car makes. Car show.
Car stories. Your first car. Your last car.
Car mods.
The time that you once felt really dumb with your car.
Pooping your pants in your car.
Did you ever piss in your car? Did you ever go in the back of your trunk and get locked in your car? What sort of modifications do you hate? What silly cars do you have? What's one car that you love but you actually hate? What is the guilty pleasure car that you've got? Come on.
A few more. Give me a few more.
No, that was
No.
good. That was good. That was good.
You have 20 seconds.
Exactly.
All right.
Ask a question. No. Dakota, no more talking.
Oh, I wanted to say one.
No.
Yeah.
Gels,
Say it.
go.
You're in trouble.
What?
Gels.
Hi.
Do it.
I can't.
Do it.
Fine. Okay, I got one.
Oh my.
Tattoo of a Hyundai logo or a Kia logo. Got to get one of them right now, and it's big, and we'll put it on the outside of your forearm.
Gels.
Kia. Because the new one looks like KN apparently, and I can just pass it off as something else.
That's true. You could. It is really weird.
I don't want to.
You gotta pick, Alex,
I don't want to.
and then we're gonna actually go do it.
He's doing what I was doing.
I know.
I'm going with Hyundai.
Whoa!
Man.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, the
He's just doing
italicized
shock.
Honda.
He's just doing shock factor for money.
Do you have a question yet?
No.
If you're listening in,
If I talk,
I want you guys to know something, and then we're ending this podcast. Dakota is the jokester of the group, and I would argue that I take myself too seriously. But Gels is like a squishmallow,
Yeah.
you know, a cupcake, like a funfetti, basic vanilla cupcake.
He's doing
That
pine
Yeah.
tree.
that like you're really hoping one of these days maybe it's a little spicy.
What?
Maybe it's a different flavor.
don't want no
Maybe
spicy
maybe you got a different type of cupcake that you've never had before.
There it is.
And then you bite in, and it's still just that funfetti
It's got
cupcake
fucking
flavor.
custard in it. It's gross.
Gels is our funfetti cupcake.
Hell yeah.
And
I'll take that shit to my grave.
He's more like a cosmic brownie to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bring that into this.
What?
I just don't think Cosmic Brownie's accurate.
Yeah, they're really good. They're underrated. Like, you forget about them, but then when you see them, you're like, holy shit.
That's Dakota.
This slap.
That Every single time I see Funfetti, I think of Gels.
Dude, we turn these cameras off and Gel starts going fucking nuts with the one-liners.
He does. He's like
Just insane.
He's like an ever evolving just library of Vine remarks and TikTok statements
And
then
movie lines no one else remembers, but you remember them after he says
like
them.
7 minutes later when you're back to doing whatever it is that you're like, oh, that's from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it's some
how
like
did he
weird
know that?
part that like no one else remembers. Yeah.
But on film,
It's just
Gels is going to
it's gotta
CCD
be the
class.
right that like CC don't. That was a deep cut.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, what do you say?
CCD.
I don't know this.
Wednesdays were the worst.
They sucked, didn't they? They sucked.
My mom would have to
never
drag
thought
me.
that it'd be so
We lost him.
simple.
Yeah, well, Dakota, it's not on him right
I
now. so
found a way.
he wants the attention back on
Found
him.
a way.
Were you a single child?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Nah.
All right.
Nah,
with
I have a
that,
I have
we
a
are
brother and a
heading
sister.
out. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of MartiniWorks. Let us know in the
Hey.
comment section below what you want us to talk about next, and we will see you on the next
I have a brother and a
podcast.
sister. But they were a lot older, so it's kind of like being a single child.
Yeah, we're leaving. Goodbye.